Have you put sugar in my coffee this morning?
No, because it's got that top bit of the milk is actually sugary. So you don't want any extra sugar,
trying to cut
else
back.
you'll become diabetic, and we don't want that.
Is that right?
Second stage or whatever it's called, yeah.
The amount of chocolate you eat, you must be
I don't eat chocolate. If
You eat flapjacks.
I said flapjack earlier, yeah, I didn't have
Flapjacks.
breakfast.
You had Twix yesterday.
Hello, stop a minute. You're not going to be drinking sugar if you're going to beat Rick Shiels. Oh yeah. Do you know what I
I think
mean?
we better chat about that today.
I think we should.
I think
He's upset me.
I think it's upset you.
As far as I'm concerned, he gets one mention this week on our show, and that's
You
it.
try
I'm
not to
done
plug
with
him.
him.
You're not
plugging him. No, why should I build his channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
I
popularity.
feel like you've built him to where he's got to today with the amount of plugs that you've given him over the years.
Well, Pete Finch sort of suggested such, but I've never had the recognition that I truly and believe that I deserve off Rick Shiels.
Well, what about that guitaring? And what about the dancing?
Yeah.
Graham, absolutely fantastic.
Very good on the old guitar, but the dancing, not quite as keen.
Needs a bit of practice.
Yeah, he's not in your quality of dancing. Like,
Well, I'm still quite young, you know.
he hasn't passed the Dan Hendriksen school of dancing, has he?
Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe part of our coaching trips should include a bit of dancing, a bit of Sunday morning dancing on the trips.
Bit of freestyling granddad dancing.
Grandad, you've just called him Grandad.
No, I'm calling you granddad dancing.
Oh, my dancing.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Graham, well done, and thank you very much for that.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And for those of you that have sent in, generally it's your kids. You're sending your kids dancing.
Not always.
Those of you that have sent in, I've got them. I've put them into my editing area for future Sunday morning shows. So you will feature at some point. So Gary Smith, you will be on at some point.
Is that
definitely.
the bin area?
No, not yet. Gary's, you wouldn't want to put Gary's in the bin.
No,
Gary's is fantastic. I can't wait to share
Should we
that
save that for Halloween?
It's a
It's
special
a bit
one.
scary, wouldn't it? Cut.
You have cut. I'm not cutting that. That's going in. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday morning show. Good morning, Lester.
Morning, Dan.
How are we today?
Good. Yeah, very good himself.
We've had a little bit of a busy week, haven't we?
Yeah,
considering we're in lockdown,
Stock check.
stock taking.
Yeah, that was
All the boxes
most
coming
of
in.
it. Yeah, a lot of deliveries have turned up, haven't they? Which is good. Because last when we came out of the first lockdown, we weren't aware of how busy and
Golf just went
mad. So at least now once we go out of this lockdown, we've got some stock to sell. So we didn't have any last time.
Biggest disappointment for me is the fact that we can't open the shop till 12 days after the golf starts.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. Because I think
you almost wanted it all to tie. I know. I understand the reasons why it can't,
Yeah.
but almost all tying together, wouldn't it? But,
would have been handy, Boris, if you're watching. Would have been handy.
He's obviously never worked in a pro shop.
No. I bet you'd smash him when it comes to selling Mars bars.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Absolutely smash him. So a great response last week for Wilbur.
Yeah.
Fantastic response, and thank you everybody for wishing him all the best. And I had lots of comments. Like I had some comments that were obviously a lot of people are thrilled that he's made the effort, and I think that's more important, is that actually somebody's taking the time to make the effort and go for it and get to where he's got to. And he's literally nearly at 3 stone now. But
yeah, I mean, and to him to actually do it in the like public light and on YouTube as such and on social media, that takes quite a lot of guts, because
and it has inspired people to.
and
that's what I took from the comments as well. It's inspired people to want to look at themselves as well and do something like that. And I don't know if you remember when I was a youngster, but I've had to go through that process as well. So I was,
Have you got any pictures to overlay now?
I don't think I do anymore.
I think I've got a few.
I think probably you do have. I went through, obviously I was quite a lot younger. I was in my teens when I had to go through all of that. But, I grew up with it, having to deal with it. And I was a decent sportsman at the time. During that time I was obviously a little bit slow, but I was still at decent tennis, still at decent football and rugby and golf, but it takes hard work and dedication to go through that. But it takes hard work, and even to this day I am very mindful of what goes into my body, as in what I eat and what I don't eat. because it's more of a psychological thing as well. Like it does affect you. It does mentally affect you when you've been in at that stage, and then you've got to deal with it. And
I think 100%. I mean, when I sort of last few years, I've really like watched what I've eaten.
Yeah.
When I was approaching 40, and then since 40, I've more or less cut meat out. I'm more or less a vegetarian. I do have a Sunday roast every Sunday, but that's with my mum, and I can't.
So
not
6
have
days
that.
a week.
6 days a week. Yeah. I've been eating meat alternatives, which, to be honest, I don't really miss meat. At all. Yeah. And
what is really interesting with the inspiration, I suppose, for Will with what he's been doing is, I think it's also it's kind of inspired. People have pushed him to want to do something to help him with his golf as well. So I think this has kind of really pushed that. And he was a bit nervous about this GoFund page. So Will has got a GoFund page, and I will pop a little link in the description so you can go and have a little look at that. But it's to fund Will's year on the Euro Pro and to try and generate. And I think he's already got some money in that's covered maybe the first trip. His first tournament, got the entry fee paid, so which is fantastic. And having watched players like my brother and James Ruth and Laura, you know, watching them having to come out the blocks and fund a year on a tour is really, really hard. So Will's got a couple of skiing plans that he wants to do. We're going to look at running a golf day for him to try and generate some income that way for him. He's also going to do a scheme, like a sponsored scheme, where if you invest into Will, then however well he does on the Euro Pro Tour, he will give you kickbacks of whatever you've invested in, and it's quite a nice way of doing that. But
it's making you part of his team almost, isn't it? And
absolutely, and
gives people an inch. It doesn't have to be a massive donation, etc., but it gives someone sort of a almost like I've sort of helped him along the way, and I think Will said that no matter what people give and stuff, it just all helps, doesn't it?
Absolutely right. So he was a bit reluctant to do the GoFund one because he just felt like it was him holding his hand out, and I just said, look, people have asked you to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you should at least do it, and if people don't want to give, they don't have to give it, but they gives them the option to do that for him, and I'm really happy that he's done it. I'm really glad, and it's given. He kept phoning me. He's kept phoning me every time like £5 goes in or £10 goes in. He phones me and says, I've got another one. I've got this paid for, and so it's really he's really excited with it, and I think it's really inspiring him to want to then be good next year.
I think as well, if you're just playing for yourself, it's not to say adding pressure to him, but it's making him maybe more motivated. The fact that crikey, people are investing in me, they want me to do well. Not only will it give him confidence, but it'll also hopefully inspire him to increase his practice time and the effort he puts into his golf. Because if he puts as much effort into his golf as he's done with his losing his weight, he'll do really, really well.
Yeah, he will. And he will also, just not going on from his dieting side of things, he will also be starting to do a gym exercise. So there was lots of concerns about him not, just losing all this weight. So the idea is that he will, obviously, when we come out of lockdown, he will make an effort of getting into the gym and then really making a proper plan with a trainer to make sure that he's doing the right things for golf. Because that was one of my concerns, was that we don't want to sell it that this is a tried and tested diet that he's on. It's not. We're not promoting it personally, but it's something that
we don't know enough about.
We don't know enough about science
and stuff
behind it. No,
we're very much what we do. Very much scratch the surface of it. So we understand that we've had quite a few people who've commented about him losing a lot of weight, but it needs to be a lifestyle change, and he's got the right people advising him and seeking people that are professional in this area that will help him. So that's what the main thing our concern was as well as everybody else's, that he doesn't just lose the weight and put it back on. He can maintain a healthy weight.
Correct.
To support his lifestyle.
Absolutely right.
So we've had a few issues on social media this week, haven't we?
You have. I don't know about me. I think you have.
Well,
you and my brother.
Well, a certain YouTuber. I don't know whether I should mention his name and give him the publicity that he seeks on this channel. But he named you on his podcast, a very popular podcast. I think it's the #1 podcast in golf at the moment, in YouTube golf. he named you as in the top 3 best golfers on YouTube.
What I would say to that.
Then wait, let me finish. Don't interrupt.
Sorry.
Because this is, you know, and then. So not only he named you in that, so that was a nice little compliment, I think. Yeah, in the top 3, which was lovely. Thanks, Rick. But he then proceeded to follow that by that he could actually beat you. So that all I'm going to say before you carry on is we accept your challenge. I will be on his bag, providing banter and a little bit of ribbon. But we accept your challenge, and we're quite confident that Dan will beat you at golf. There you go.
There you go. You've gone off on one there, haven't you? So what I would say to that is when you're asked a question, cameras on and podcast or whatever it is that he was doing that day, I think it was podcast.
Don't be politically correct. You say what you feel, because you were ranting down the phone at me. So don't come on here. Don't come on here pretending you're nicey and all that. You were fuming.
When you're asked,
you were fuming.
When you're asked you stir the pot, you do. Is when you're asked a question like that in a live show or on camera and on a podcast and things like that. Sometimes your mind can get a little bit clouded on what you're about to say.
Okay.
So there are lots of guys on YouTube that create fantastic content that are extremely good golfers. Like Alex Evans wasn't even mentioned in that conversation.
No, he's a proper golfer.
And he's a very good golfer, you know. I probably could beat him, but...
That's another one.
Another match. No, but Alex is obviously a very good golfer, and would certainly be in that list, certainly ahead of me, I would say. You know, but I think he was focusing on people that actually film, create, edit, all that type of thing. So it's the content. So, for example, like my brother, obviously Paul would be 100% in that. Paul Waring, who goes in with Alex.
Yeah,
you know, those are just extremely good golfers that are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sophie Walker was one that was on YouTube. Carly Booth was, she goes on YouTube.
Steve Surrey.
Steve Surrey, he's on YouTube.
Tour.
You know,
Harry
Kona, yeah. He's obviously on YouTube. So there's lots and lots of guys out there. So I think it was more about the people that actually have a channel and create and do all those sorts of things. So I just want to clear that up.
Yeah, but let's just think about it. You know, so Rick Shiels might be able to beat you in La Manga on a sunny Sunday afternoon with 35 degrees temperature, but can he do it at Torquay at 3:30 in the middle of winter on a Tuesday afternoon?
Well, at 3:30 in the winter, we're not getting round, do we?
Can he do it?
We're not getting round. And also, you know, at the end of the day, like I would, you know, like we've said before on this show, you know, if there's an opportunity to have a game with Rick this year, then we'll definitely do it. And I'm hoping that it will happen. It will happen.
It's a grudge match.
But I don't think...
It's a grudge match.
It wasn't kind of how I anticipated that game going. I thought it would be certainly more fun, vloggy, me and you versus him and somebody else. I thought that would be quite nice.
We don't want that now. We're calling it out for the match.
I see that.
One-on-one.
And you and my brother have stirred the pot.
Stirred it?
Stirred the pot. Pot stirred.
Hey?
Yeah.
He's writing checks that his mouth's writing checks his body can't cash in.
Top Gun.
that Maverick, wasn't it?
Maverick, yeah. So let's move on from that. Let's move on from that one.
I was quite enjoying that.
Yeah, I know you were.
So I've got a birthday shout out this week, and the birthday shout out is from Ian Martin. We actually met Ian, and
is it Ian's birthday?
No, it's not Ian's birthday. A bit premature. Congratulations there. So we met Ian and his wife Elaine in October last year.
Yes, we did.
She brought us some lovely. Yeah, that's it. She brought some lovely cakes down that we.
From Camberwell. They're from Camberwell.
Correct. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So and it happens to be Elaine's birthday this week on the 14th of March. So that's this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Sunday.
That is. Yeah.
Yeah. So on Mother's Day. Yeah, so we need to wish all the mothers happy.
Yes, we definitely do.
Happy Mother's Day. But it's Elaine's birthday, so happy birthday, Elaine.
Happy birthday, Elaine, today as well. Fantastic.
We did actually sing to Ian when it was his birthday in the shop.
Yeah, we did.
Which he's actually noted this, so I think that's sort of a way of asking us to sing for her. But have you got another birthday shout out?
No, didn't you remember last week we decided that they would all go to you?
Okay.
So you should have them.
So do we sing or not?
There was a lot of requests not to sing.
We won't sing them. We go with the majority. This is the people's channel, isn't it?
There was a lot of concerned people
now.
from our singing last week, so... but you've said it now.
I've said it now.
I mean, no, as in you've said it that we
I
should
have
sing
got
to Elaine. I feel
one-
like Elaine's going to be upset now.
No, she won't be upset.
No.
Big fan of yours. Right, so I've also got. I don't want to.
Happy birthday, Elaine.
Yeah, happy
did
birthday.
we say hello?
We did,
we
yeah.
say happy birthday?
I did. I don't know if you did. We obviously do birthday shout-outs, but someone's asked me to mention one of their golfing friends who unfortunately passed away, sort of last week. But he didn't want it to be like sad. He wanted to almost almost like a celebration of the bloke's life.
Yeah.
And his name was Michael Goose Danbury.
Okay.
He's just put, our golfing world is a poorer place without him, and I can't think of no fitting tribute than to immortalise him on the Sunday morning in the only picture of him not in shorts. Apparently, he always wore shorts.
Yeah.
Don't know if he watched the channel, etc. But
Sounds like he did, yeah.
he obviously touched quite a few people's hearts, and he will be missed. So
very sad. Isn't
yeah.
It? Okay. Birthdays
and obituaries.
Yes. Okay. What about Mother's Day then?
Mother's Day. Yeah.
As it is Mother's Day.
We've got two great mothers, haven't we?
We've got two great mothers.
Yeah.
So we want to wish all of you mums
So
a very happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Jane.
And I hope you get properly spoiled.
Yeah.
As best you can, because it is still lockdown. But yeah, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. Mothering Sunday.
Mothering Sunday. Right, have we got any questions? What's coming up this week on the show?
Well, what's been on the show this week? We've actually done my little custom fit my irons into my golf bag. That was quite a cool little video, actually.
Yeah.
I think people have enjoyed the fact, and it just highlights that we need to do more of it. But people have enjoyed the kind of behind the scenes of me messing about with taking grips off and cutting them down and doing all the loft and lies and stuff like that. Which is actually, I'll be honest with you, I kind of retired from doing that a few years ago because Lester does all of that. But I just did it for the video, really. It just shows that I've still got it there. It takes me a little longer to do than Lester because he's
if you do it every day and stuff, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, but I always used to enjoy repairs. When I was assistant, I used to do loads of repairs. Not so much now, but
it was always my favourite bit of the.
Yeah, you've always enjoyed it.
Yeah,
always enjoyed it. And it is an art. Like there's a lot of kids out there that are trainees and things that are trainees of the PGA that don't really enjoy doing it. But it was something where you get your hands involved and get involved and.
It's less specialist now, though, I'd say, from when we did our training.
Yeah, there's. Well, were you quite in that whipping? Were you in the whipping?
Yeah, so when I started in a golf shop in 1994.
Yeah.
As a 15-year-old, and I can remember the guy I worked for doing literally refurbing all the heads, like the wood heads, revarnishing them, doing the whipping and stuff. So I didn't.
Because you would have been in that, remember the ping wooden, wooden ones? Yeah. The i2s, whatever they were, ping eyes, wooden ones, they would have had whipping.
So I never really learned how to do that side of it, but I was literally just after that.
Watching it unfold.
Yeah.
Face plates off, screws, all those sorts of things.
And when I did my custom fitting section of the repairs element of it, I used the old-fashioned like half moon, and vice to bend and give it a tap in it. I didn't use the new stuff where
we've got
bending bars and stuff like that. So I was the only one in the doing the exam, about 20 of us, that actually was using, and people were just looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, well, to be fair, when I worked for Rob at Churston, so when I was a trainee at Churston, when I started at Saunton, we had the bending machine. That was all there. But when I went back to work for Rob. We had the half moon, and it was a case of getting, you get the club in the vise, and then you press against, you squeeze the vise, and then it starts to spread the club, and it was.
And tapping a wooden hammer on the top of it as well.
Yeah, I do remember that. So there was a bit of an art to it. I would say that art has gone to a degree now, but
it's probably more. I mean, it's more accurate now with the proper machines, isn't it? Bending bars.
And even the one we've got here is not the most accurate in the world, and it takes a bit of time. But the one when I went to Titleist, and had a little look around their whole area a few years ago now when I went up there, didn't I?
2018, was it?
Yeah, it must have been back then. Yeah. So I went up there and they showed me around the huge warehouse they've got of all the custom clubs and everything that goes on. It was really fascinating. I'd love to do a video in there with them. But they had this machine head goes in, just like that. Head goes in, but it's on a computer, and it's literally there's this little circle, and then they tell you when, and they start moving it, and they're trying to push the dot into this circle to get it to where they want it.
I would have thought they would have had a machine that you just put the club in and it does it for you. Like
yeah,
no,
there's still the art of actually using that, but it's and it's so precise.
Yeah.
Like you can't get it. Like I could get that wrong if you didn't know what you were doing, but with that, it's just you're literally moving a dot into position, and it's subtle moves. I mean, they will move pretty easily if you get the right, decent heads, but they have their limitations on movement. Do you know when we were at the PGA,
they were like butter.
They literally were like you couldn't fail. Well, the only way you could fail your PGA with your repairs is if you overbent it and snapped it. Yeah. Because they've been bent so many times.
I can remember getting so the tricky one used to be getting a graphite shaft out of a head of an iron.
Yeah.
Because you have to be really careful. Graphite can splinter and burn and split. Yeah. Steel, you can use as much heat as you want and you don't really have to worry about it. But when I was doing my repairs exam, this club, I could have literally just gone like that and pulled it apart, and it was like there was hardly any glue because it'd been in and out so many times. Someone ain't glued it properly. And I just remember standing there with the paint stripper gun, whatever it was, but the heat gun, doing it, thinking I've really got to knock it and it'll fall off. I've got to pretend I'm actually doing it.
Pass, tip, thank you. Cool, that's a result, because there's a lot of people that failed their exams from that graphite shaft one.
Split
just break it, almost melts it and you can bend it around. But I hope you enjoyed that video, and what it like. I was actually going on. We've gone off on a tangent there, but what I
often we do, so we get nothing done.
But the idea of what I hope we get from that is that we'll do more with Leicester on it, because I think that I'd like to highlight some of the stuff that we've just been talking about there, and and showcasing what actually happens behind the scenes a little bit more in pro shops, and it's something I think a lot of people would enjoy to see. So we will do that for sure.
Cool.
Do you know what's interesting? So when we did our live last week, not this week, because we'll do one this week, but last week, there was a question came in about what do we think about golf with Bryson going across the Arnold Palmer on the 6th hole, going across on the par 5 and things. And my answer to that was that it would people will remember it. If he does it and he achieves it, people will remember it. It will stick in people's memories forever if they've seen that. It's happened. That has absolutely happened. Yeah. Did it create... Was it bad for golf?
No. 100% no.
It was actually, if anything, it made golf fun.
So Rory hit it over there as well, didn't he?
Rory went in the water on that hole, didn't he? For twice. Did he go in the water twice and make an all? I don't know what he made. But it just made, he made the same score as Westwood on that hole. They both made birdies, but it just made golf fun, and it gave people something to talk about. It was, so it will remain in people's memories for a long time. No different to that John Daly situation that we talked about.
No, it's good. I think it's good publicity. It's good for golf. It grows the game and makes golf more fun and seemingly more cool. Then it'll get more people playing it.
If you get kids that actually see that or have come across that on the news or whatever that makes them go to the driving range and smash the hell out of a golf ball, then is that not good? Is that not a start for them? It might not be. I just think it'll be a really good avenue. Really good avenue.
Golf has to evolve and develop and move with the times.
It does. Absolutely, it does. Right, I think that's it for our Sunday morning show. I think we have waffled on a lot today, so we do apologise if this has gone over the time, but that was good. Yeah. Anything else you want to report?
No.
Nothing?
We look forward to Rick's response, because we know he watches the channel.
Have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you all again next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.